Well, today I'm going to teach Tyler and Adrian something completely unrelated to cryptids. Sorry, I'm taking over the podcast. It is now how to be a proper lesbian.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I've been
We
wanting
mentioned
this
in our last
while.
episode that I have knighted Tyler. He is officially an honorary lesbian.
It's true. I am.
The next time I'm there, I will officially knight Adrian. So he is also.
I would greatly appreciate it. Yes.
Let's go.
Yep.
Homos for
So-
life.
I need to teach you guys how to be a proper lesbian. Okay, so first of all, if you don't know the U-Haul joke, that's rule number 1.
All right. What's the U-Haul joke for
what
those
does
ignorant
You
bastards who
lesbian-
actually don't know this?
I don't.
Yeah.
No.
All right. Go on.
Oh, okay.
Go
What
on,
does a
Lindsay.
lesbian bring to the second date?
What?
A U-Haul
A
truck.
U-Haul. Because the
Because-
joke is that lesbians move in so fast
Actually,
and
that's-
then never get married.
That's super true. I have a friend, a lesbian friend, who I don't know if she listens to this podcast. No. One of my
Lindsay,
best
me?
No. So like one of my best friends, a singer in one of the bands that I used to play for. She's super lesbian. She texted me from Guadalajara like 2 days ago. Like, yo, I'm probably
That's
gonna.
not a real place.
I know. She's like, yo, I'm letting you know now. I'm probably gonna like stay out here permanently. And I was like, all right, cool. What's her name?
What did I fucking just say?
Yeah.
So,
I-
yes,
I
they
love that
move in
there's
very
a-
quickly.
There's a bit
Like-
in
And then take-
Cyberpunk.
Apparently they're gonna get married.
Yep, there it is. Look
Yeah.
at that. Oh, good for them.
Yeah. Well.
So
you can't
that's a
say-
bit of a stereotype breaker. They don't normally every lesbian I've ever met, like they'll move in right away, but it takes 10 years for them to get married.
Well, there's a bit in Cyberpunk 2077 when you romance Judy, who is gay. So you have to be like a female V to romance her. You basically go on like one soul searching date together, and then she gives you the key to her apartment, and she
Yep.
goes like, "Look, I know this is the fucking joke and everything, but shut the fuck up."
Yep.
And what's funny is when I was playing through with Meg, we got to that point because her female V was just romancing fucking everyone who would bang her.
Uh-huh.
And she was like, "Wait, I don't get it. What's the joke?" And I was like, "Call Lindsay."
Put me on speed dial. Okay, so lesson number 2 is that we're dense as fuck. Okay? We don't understand, even when we're interacting with other lesbians, that we might like each other, even though you might be even overtly flirting with them.
What I've learned
once
today
upon a
is
time-
that lesbians are men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still don't realize when some girls like me.
I'm in a relationship with Meg, and she'll walk in shirtless, and I'll be like, "Did you forget a shirt, honey? They're in there."
I was literally talking to a girl last night about anal, and I still don't know if she likes me or not.
Oh my god.
Buddy,
I need to get to California and knight you immediately.
I'm gonna break some news to you, buddy. She wants you to fuck her butt.
Are you sure though? Like she didn't say it.
I think she wants you to fuck her butt.
see, he's even talking like a lesbian. Oh, I'm so proud of you.
Because that's the thing. I don't know if this is the same for lesbians, but men can easily tell when they're talking to another man of like, yeah, she wants you to fuck her butt. But if I were in Adrian's shoes, I'd be like, nah.
Well, because she didn't say anything.
Yeah, she's not like, hey, I want you to fuck my butt.
No,
And
she's
she didn't say that multiple times, meaning I don't know what she
Well,
wants.
no, it's not fuck her. We were talking about eating ass.
Oh, she wants you to lick her butt.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Hell yeah, brother.
So once upon a time, my older brother, his friend at the time,
I didn't know you had a brother.
really? Yeah, I have an older brother. He
Known
is
him for
also
years.
coincidentally very gay. We are 5.5 years apart, and I say my mother has the rainbow womb because both her kids popped out fucking flamboyant.
The rainbow womb.
Anyway,
This is
hi-
the name of my
his-
new band.
his friend at the time was a bi woman, and he was trying to get us to be friends because I hadn't met her yet. And
Friends.
I don't know if this was planned or just this is something he would do regardless. He got really high and wanted to take a nap, and we had plans to go out that night to our friend's like band playing at a club. Well, he tapped out, and conveniently it was her and I took a solid like 72 hours after the fact that I realized that I was on a date that night. that is how you lesbian.
That
The next
sounds right.
morning, even my brother's like, if you date her, like you can't do that because like that means I have to pick sides, and I don't want to have to pick sides if you two get in a fight. And I'm like, What are you talking? What? And then I'm like, oh my god, we went on a date.
See,
I was so confused.
That's
dude.
incredibly relatable.
Yo, I just realized back in college, the girl that I really wanted to date, and like we both went on a date, and then I just never called her again. I'm fucking stupid.
You are.
I guess
You
on
are
that
just.
note, I guess on that note, I had a big crush on this girl in high school, and my freshman year, I remember I asked her out. She said no. All right, whatever.
Yeah.
We ended up becoming like just pretty good friends over the next 3 years. And my senior year, we were hanging out, and we mentioned like, because nobody really knew that like I had asked her out, and she said no, and like that topic came up, and we were all like, "Ha, that's funny." And she looks at me, she says, "Man, I wish I would have said yes. That would have been fun." And I was like, "Yeah, I would have." And then I never asked her out.
Okay, well, on that note,
I would have said
I'm surrounded by lesbians and Lindsay. Andrews.
Oh, we lost the crack to Discord.
No.
We got a.
You know what? That'll work. Just splice that in.
I'm Tyler Shively.
I'm Adrian Castro, and we're not cracking because
we are still working on the ones from last episode. Adrian and I got up to pee between episodes, and we are buzzed.
It was one of those things like you don't feel
it's
that
the stand
buzz.
up, right?
Yeah, as soon as you stand up, like,
oh, dude,
my face is just like fucking numb.
So my 21st birthday, I'm astounded that I don't have the same level of alcohol tolerance because I drank so much when I turned 21. And ever since then, my alcohol tolerance has disappeared, even though like nothing's changed since that night. But I had like, we were in Orlando. We went to this place called the Dueling Piano Bar, and they sell buckets, and they gave me my own bucket. It was a cocktail. I had like 3 shots.
Fuck?
I had like 2 other drinks. I had so much alcohol, and I was only like kind of drunk, but I didn't realize it until we were at the bar, and I had to pee, and we were at a high top, and I'm short. I'm 5'2" for those of you listening. And the high top was like up to my shoulder, and I like hopped off. I hopped off the bar stool, and everyone got real quiet and looked over at me like, is she gonna fall over?
Yeah,
and you know how when the gymnasts do, that, like they do all their flips and they go with their arms out.
That's
they, like,
exactly what I did when I stood up.
I did that, and there was like
when you like
some mild
T-pose?
golf clapping at the table, and then I went off to pee, and everything was fine.
I do that every single time. Adrian can actually attest to this. We have a friend, Richard.
Oh, fucking love Richard.
We haven't hung out with Richard in a while. We should hang out with Richard.
I gotta
again.
text him back.
Yeah, that dude throws some fucking good parties.
He replies to like all of my stories, and
constantly.
I just like him and move on. I'm so sorry, Richard, if you're listening to this.
I don't think Richard knows we do a show.
No, probably not.
But that dude throws some fun ass parties.
I love his parties.
Adrian can attest. I have an insane alcohol tolerance.
It's incredible how much alcohol
I remember
you
you
drink.
telling this to me when I was there.
I can get like tipsy, buzzed, or whatever, but I've never been drunk. I've never gotten past buzz. I can get buzzed pretty fast if I'm drinking the right shit, but I won't go further for some reason, and I don't know why. We went to one of Richard's parties, and Adrian apparently took the vow to himself that he would match me shot for shot.
Oh.
Within 2 hours, we had taken 16 shots.
Oh yeah.
How did you not go to the hospital?
Adrian was about to, I think you stopped at like 12 because you're like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
And I was just like, and then like our friend Kaylee would come and be like, you want a shot of like Jack Daniels? I'd be like, I mean, all right, if you're pouring.
Well, okay, to be fair, I stopped at 12 not only because of that, but also because I took some acid right before.
That's right, I forgot you were on acid. But yeah, no, I just, anytime someone offered me a shot, I took a fucking shot. There would be times when I still worked at the restaurant where I would go out to like a bar with some of the people after our shift, because that's what you do when you work at a restaurant. And we,
Yes.
I don't know alcohol very well, and I especially didn't back then. So as I wouldn't go to the bar to order anything unless somebody else was like, hey, let's go get something to drink. And I'd go with them and be like, oh, the bartender asked what we wanted. It's like, you first. They'd order their thing, and no matter what they ordered, I would always say, same. Because I didn't know what I wanted. And one of my coworkers, she picked up on the fact that I did that, and she was like, that's a dangerous fucking game, Tyler Shively. And so whenever she was there when we go to the bar, she'd order something fucked up, and I'd be like, Same.
Meanwhile, you
time.
can't. You can't get drunk, and I got drunk on accident last Thursday.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. You told me about
I
that.
took a nice walk because there's a place around the corner from my apartment it's like a Mexican restaurant, and they have a bar there, and it was a gorgeous day. So I'm like, I'll walk over, I'll grab a beer, I'll order food to go, and I'll go back to the apartment and eat dinner. And I was like, I'll have a beer while I wait. So I sit down at the bar, and I'm like, can I get a, I think I had a Mick Ultra. It's like, can I get a Mick Ultra? Because they had a really small selection at like draft.
Okay, I was about to say, why would you ever choose to get a Mick Ultra?
Yeah, they didn't have a whole lot there.
Also, why would you get Mexican food in the South?
Great point.
Look, it was the only restaurant in walking distance, okay?
What was the tortilla made out of? Was it corn or flour? She
It
can't
was
even
flour
tell.
tortillas.
Okay.
It was flour tortillas. No, it was flour tortillas. And the girl behind the bar goes, tall? I'm like, sure, why not?
It's like
this
16
thing
ounces.
was a tank. No, it was not 16 ounces.
Oh,
it
that's
was
what
at
tall's
least
supposed to be.
No, see, that's what I was
I'm sorry. It's
expecting.
16 and 20, I think, at some places.
It was a fucking tankard, dude. It was.
Oh, she sent you a fucking flagon.
Yes, I had to use both hands to pick it up. It was probably like the combination of basically 3 beers. I got
Holy
through
shit.
most of it, and then waddled my happy little ass home.
And
But
then
I
hopped
was
onto
drunk and I
Terraria
didn't-
with me.
Yes, it was just.
But yeah, what I did learn from the going to bars and saying same is if you are a fan of rum and Coke, get a rum and Diet Coke. It tastes way better.
Does it? I've never been a fan of rum and Coke.
Rum and Diet Coke is better.
I love rum and
Okay.
Coke. It's such a good classic.
Hit it with a.
I
with a
also
Diet
prefer
Coke.
rum above all. So.
Really, that's funny. I only get rum in a rum and Coke.
I could drink anything that's not vodka.
Really, I'm big on vodka.
See, it's
that's vodka, right?
it is.
What you're
Yeah,
drinking right now?
I know. But like I'm talking about like when I'm trying to get drunk, I can't do vodka
Right.
because
Are
vodka
you a
is the
tequila
devil.
guy?
I'm a tequila guy.
I knew it, you fucking racist.
I have a greater appreciation for tequila. I don't know. Oh, I did shots of tequila recently, and I was like, why don't I do this more often? And I know the answer in the back of my head, but
Can you explain to me what the worm is when discussing tequila?
Well, all right. It's I don't know much about alcohol either. I just know that like they put a worm in it and
Like a literal worm, like a fucking
Yeah.
earthworm.
yeah, and something about like once it's dead or something, it's like ready or I have no idea.
I
Don't
suddenly
ask me.
don't like this conversation about
But
alcohol.
this is a real
but-
thing.
no,
When you
it's
have
a real
A shot
thing.
of tequila with a worm,
Yeah,
you
but
get like insanely fucked up.
yeah. So what it is
Weird.
so the worm basically soaks up all of the alcohol.
Is it like a gummy worm?
No, it's
It's
an
like a real
actual
living worm?
Yeah.
Because I've had like gummy worms when you put them in like a glass of vodka and then the gummy worms suck
Yeah.
it all up, and that is bomb as shit.
I've never had that.
Oh my god, dude.
You've never had gummy anything alcohol infused?
I'll have
No.
to
Oh
bring
my
those
God.
next time instead of drinks. You literally just get like a bowl of vodka.
Uh-huh.
You throw a fucking sack of gummy worms in it, or gummy bears, or another one,
Uh-huh.
and it sucks it up, and they become like big.
Uh-huh.
And when you eat them, they just taste like gummy worms, but they are chock full of vodka.
All right, you bring me that. I'll bring you a tequila that has a scorpion inside it.
I want nothing less in my
Oh.
life.
Oh.
Even the things where it's like, here's a lollipop and it has an ant in it. I'm like, I want to die.
Bro, all right, I gotta take you to this restaurant in San Bernardino. It's on D Street, where they sell chocolate-covered cockroaches.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Oh, no.
I'm all right.
Absolutely
I'm
not.
all right.
Hear me out. They have so they take out all the guts and fill it with caramel.
I'm cool.
That doesn't make it any better.
Yeah,
What?
that almost makes it worse because it's prepared now.
Honestly, it's kind of bomb.
You know what, buddy? Order one for yourself for me.
Sure, and I'll bring it to you so you can try it.
No, here's the thing. You order it for me, but you can have it.
All right. Well,
I will. So it's chocolate covered entirely?
yes.
I would take like one lick of the outside and be like, no, I'm done. Because
That's-
then I could taste the chocolate. I don't have to bite into the chitin. And then I'm done. That's it. Goodbye.
I always pronounce it chitin.
I don't know how it's pronounced. Let's go to the internet
Yeah,
and find out.
hit me with a pronunciation.
I'm gonna go with Lindsay's. It sounds cooler the way that Lindsay. Yeah, it sounds cooler the way that Lindsay's.
I'm right.
says
It's
it.
chitin.
Yeah.
Chitin. Okay. Whoops.
Yeah.
It does have a CH though, so you can't really blame me.
No, I don't blame you at all.
We're recording a show.
Anyway.
Right.
Holy shit.
Anyway.
We're fucking 15 minutes in. We're recording a show.
What are we talking about that isn't chocolate covered roaches?
I don't
or
got,
Oh,
I
we're
don't got a
talk-
damn idea.
We're talking about dead people.
All right, you're gonna have to clarify.
Are they chocolate covered?
No.
Wait, yeah, great point. Are they chocolate covered? I'll eat a
unfortunately.
chocolate covered person.
Okay, no. Okay, no.
I mean, if I could dip my balls in chocolate. That's not a problem.
Put a little whipped cream on the nips.
Sure.
Oh no.
You didn't say that as oh no. You said that as oh no, wink.
No. So today we're talking about a subject that we've already covered, kind of.
That could mean almost anything.
Yeah. We're talking about Elisa Lam.
I'm not talking about space piracy.
Not talking about space piracy.
All right, you can turn off the episode now, Jeremy. You don't have anything to gain here.
No, all right. So, what do you guys know about Elisa Lam?
The Men in Black were there.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, and you did the episodes about. I remember when I visited LA, I was driving downtown with my friend, and I saw the hotel, and I pointed and said, "Oh my god, I know about that because my friends do a podcast."
God, it's. I've already forgotten the point that we're like episode 3 of Lindsay being on the show. I forgot that Lindsay was like our first fan, actual listener of the show.
That's true. Yeah,
Lindsay, I can't wait for you to get to the point where you've recorded like 10 plus episodes, and someone mentions something to you, and you're gonna be like, I can't remember ever saying.
I will
anything
shit
like this
my
in
pants.
life.
I said in Discord the other day because I was listening to the episode that aired this past Friday, and they mentioned me in it. And this is before the episodes that I actually was in California for aired. And I said, what did I say? I said, I know I'm literally on the podcast now, but I still lose my shit when you guys mention me.
Just wait for the surreal moment when someone messages you and says like, hey, that was a funny bit.
Yeah, I will lose my shit. I will ascend. I will die and go to heaven. And that's it. That's the end of my lifespan.
Dude, I have a couple friends, like a big shout out to Dylan again. Occasionally he'll message me and be like, that was a funny bit. And I'll be like, thank you.
See, anytime anybody ever mentions anything I said, I'm like, did I say that?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like something I would say.
Your buddy Luis listens to us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Luis will be like, yo, what were you guys talking about there? And I'll be like, I don't fucking know.
Oh my God, Lindsay's on the show now. Lindsay, can you explain to him that he's wrong about what they did to Bikini Bottom?
No, I'm not. I've seen
Adrian,
the episode.
Adrian, you're wrong.
I've recently seen the episode.
Adrian, you're wrong.
You could tell me I'm wrong as long as
They
you're
took
wrong.
Bikini Bottom and pushed it somewhere else.
Yeah, but they buried it.
It was
They
never
literally
buried.
buried it.
Bury it.
I don't know. That's why I was so confused as a child.
If we ever talk about an episode about time travel, I'm telling you right now, if the topic comes up of what you would do if you had a time machine, I would do one thing. I would go back in time and beat the shit out of young Adrian until he understood that was not underground.
That's probably a crime.
You got a passenger seat on. How?
What the
Yeah, no, they'll never know.
Did you hear that too?
Yeah, did I lose connection for a second?
I think you did.
That was weird. I got so upset that the mic lost me.
That's super weird. I've never heard that happen.
But yeah, no.
Anyway,
the Elisa Lam thing. I'm gonna run through everything I know. She died at the Cecil Hotel, which is the same hotel that the Night Stalker Richard Rodriguez hung out at. Like a few days before she died, the Men in Black showed up, which I think we mentioned on the Men in Black episode.
Well, a few days before she was found.
Yeah, I'm sorry, before she was found. The only other thing is, I believe she was Canadian.
She was Canadian, yeah, Vancouver.
Let's go, dude.
So, the death of Elisa Lam.
Yeah, right. We're doing a show.
So, to this day, nobody knows how exactly Elisa Lam died.
I would have figured they would have figured it out by
We
now.
should have figured it out by now, yeah.
We figured out who Jack the Ripper was.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. So, we know that the 21-year-old, so she was 21, we know that the 21-year-old Canadian college student was last seen in the Cecil Hotel in LA, Los Angeles, on January 31st, 2013.
I can't believe the Cecil Hotel is still fucking in operation, dude.
We'll cover that. So on January 26th, Elisa Lam arrived in LA. She had just come by Amtrak train from San Diego and was headed to Santa Cruz as a part of her solo trip around the West Coast.
I thought she was going to a concert or something.
No. She was just touring the West Coast for some reason.
I mean, don't say for some reason. There's a good
I
reason.
mean,
Yeah, you say that like it's a bad thing. I would totally.
The West Coast slaps, dude.
Well, I think it's just because like I've been to every part of the West Coast, so now it's just like
Yeah, now it's just normal for us.
yeah.
We're just like, oh, it's gonna be 75 degrees today and be like mildly breezy and be wonderful weather for our entire fucking lives. Ugh, boring.
See,
Lindsay, what's the temperature over there right now?
It is. I will preface this with the South is like roll the dice and hope you get a nice season for the day because it could be any season.
What
It is
what
currently
are seasons like?
it is currently
Hey.
46 degrees outside.
I literally can't even remember the last time it was
Yeah.
like 50 degrees.
Yeah, no, that's insane. Also,
It
hang on.
snowed last week, and then it was 77 degrees 2
You had
days ago.
snow?
Oh, that's crazy.
Snow isn't
Welcome
real.
to the South.
No, snow isn't real.
Also, I love the seasons. First off,
Yeah, but we don't have any.
no. I live in a place where we skip all the shitty ones.
Yeah, well, we have the season that's 100 degrees.
Uh-huh.
We have the season that's 70 degrees, and we have the season that's 60 degrees.
Yeah, it's super cold.
And then we have the season that's humid.
The
That
fact that you
sucks.
said that super cold literally makes me want to turn off my computer and not participate in this podcast anymore.
No, yeah, there are times where I go like, "Hey Alexa, what's the temperature?" And Alexa's like, "It is 56 degrees." And I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's when you bring out the heavy. Yeah.
better pop on the
Oh my
leather
God.
jacket.
It's like living in Florida all over again, where if it's 50 degrees, they're wearing like full body snowsuits.
Whip out the toque and the earmuffs.
All right.
God.
So, Elisa Lam. So that
my
trip
God,
was,
right.
I know, right? So that trip was supposed to be a getaway from her studies at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, where she is originally from.
Hell yeah, Vancouver, LA of Canada.
Yeah.
But clean.
Yeah. Her family had been wary of her travel by herself, so she was by herself for the entire thing. But the young student was determined to go at it alone. As a compromise, Lam made sure to check in with her parents every day of the trip to let them know that she was safe. That's
hey, Mom,
why.
hi, Dad, I'm alive.
Yeah, that's why it struck their parents as unusual when they didn't hear from her daughter on the 31st. My bad. The day she was scheduled to check out of her LA hotel, the Cecil, the Lambs eventually contacted the LA Police Department, and the police searched the premises of the Cecil, but couldn't find her.
What year did you say this was again?
2013.
13. Oh, that's like
That's-
It's
that's-
been that long already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's more recent than you would think.
That's 9 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's not even a decade.
super recent, and it's crazy because it's already reached that level of like infamy,
Mm-hmm.
like Black Dahlia, like
Yeah.
like all of those famous mystery murders that have happened. So, police soon released surveillance footage taken from the cameras at the Cecil Hotel on their website. This is where things took a turn into the truly bizarre. So the hotel video showed Elisa Lam in one of its elevators on the date of her disappearance, acting rather strangely, which
Yes.
I think we saw this video.
I mentioned this video because I've seen it.
Yeah.
She does like it's super weird because it's security footage from inside the elevator, if I remember correctly.
Mhm.
And she runs in to the elevator from the hallway.
Like,
Ducks
runs in,
behind,
yeah.
like runs in. Not like sprint, like jogs in, like, ooh, the elevator's open, must get it. Like she sprints into there, whips herself behind the wall, and for a while she starts glancing behind the wall, like over her shoulder, as if she's looking for someone, and she's doing like weird hand motions. I've seen this video before a bunch of times, and every video of it is like, hey, this is sped up by like 300%.
Yeah.
Because she's there for a long fucking time without pressing any buttons, but she looks like she's running from someone. So it's weird to run into the elevator and be like, is someone following me, but never press a button to like make it move.
Yeah. Well, no, she presses all of the buttons, but like the
but
door.
not immediately, right?
No, but the
Yeah.
door never closes, and the entire time she's like poking her head
Like
out
glancing
into the
out.
hallways.
Yeah, it's super creepy and weird.
Yeah. So the last minutes of the video show Lam standing by the left side of the door, moving her hands in random gestures, just like you said.
It's like, Lindsay, you ever watch Naruto when you were a kid?
Yeah, she does the...
Are we doing some jutsus?
Straight
I've seen
up,
the video though.
Straight
I've
up,
seen
it kind of looks
I've
like
seen
it.
the video though.
Yeah. So she's doing like weird hand gestures. Nobody else was captured on the video except for Lam. So on February 19th, which that's like almost 3 weeks after the disappearance, maintenance worker, my bad, Santiago Lopez found Elisa Lam's dead body floating in one of the hotel water tanks.
Yeah, and there's reports for those for a week or two before they found her of people saying the water tasted weird.
Well, the water tasted weird. Also, there was like low pressure.
Yeah,
so like it wasn't coming out. Like it's like if something is like blocking the flow of the water.
So to this day in California, for folks who don't know, in Southern California specifically, where this is taking place, irrigation for us is like really difficult. We don't get a lot of water in Southern California. We're a fucking desert.
Yeah.
So most of our water is irrigated in from Northern California.
Mm-hmm.
And places like the Cecil Hotel will have a water tower, a huge tank on the roof of the building filled with water. It's an old-timey thing somewhat, but we still use them pretty frequently in big cities because we can't physically pump enough water in to settle the whole hotel. So you stockpile it, essentially, to be able to do it. And people were saying for a couple weeks beforehand that the water not only had low pressure, but it tasted, if I remember the quote, sickly sweet.
Yeah.
And then a couple days beforehand, the water was turning black in some rooms, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Ugh, that's so gross.
As soon as,
I would never be able to, I would be so traumatized just by that.
You would never be able to use tap water for anything, like ever again.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, no, it's gross. So, according to a statement by the chief of the LA Fire Department, the tank in which Lam's body was found had to be drained completely and then cut open from the side to remove her body, which was 5'4". So like they couldn't take her out of the tank like regularly just by like opening it up. Yeah,
because there's a latch on the top.
Yeah,
is how they work. There's a hatch you can open on the top.
Yeah,
but I mean, like, when someone's submerged for that long, don't they get like?
Oh yeah, she probably
got bloated. Oh
yeah, she got bloated and she sunk.
Big.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's so gross. I understand like draining it to fucking bleach the shit out of it.
Yeah.
But the fact that they had to cut it open to get her out, they couldn't just like crane her out. Oh, that's terrible.
Sucks. Yeah. So nobody knows how Lam's corpse, which was floating lifelessly next to the same clothes she wore in the surveillance video.
Yeah, from the elevator, right?
Yeah. So nobody knows how the corpse ended up in the hotel's water tank or who else might have been involved. Hotel staff told authorities that Lam was always seen by herself around the hotel premises. So she never really like had any friends or like anybody that she was around.
That seems so weird to me to be like, hey, I'm going to go tour the West Coast like alone. I don't know. I feel like you'd want to like bring a buddy.
I would.
Know?
Yeah.
I mean, like, even if you didn't bring a buddy, I feel like you'd make a friend.
Yeah, you'd meet someone to hang out with.
Yeah.
But at least one person did see Lam soon before her death. So there was a nearby shop, eerily named The Last Bookstore.
Oh,
that's creepy.
That is creepy.
I don't like that.
This is some Tonham Should stuff. Do you know about Tonham Should?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'll have to do an episode on this.
Yeah.
There was a dude found dead, like a dead guy, on the beaches of Australia. And when autopsies were done of this guy, they found that he was wearing a leather jacket from Russia. He had American cigarettes in his pocket. I have
heard of this.
He had no fingerprints, and the only thing on his possession other than the cigarettes was a ripped out page from a book that said Tonham Should.
Yeah,
yes.
I've heard about this. Yeah,
yeah, and nobody fucking knows who this guy was. That's some Tonham Should shit.
Yeah,
like
it's crazy. So the last bookstore. So the owner of this store, Katie Orphan was her name.
Her name was Orphan?
Her last name was Orphan.
That's like spelled the same way?
It's spelled the exact same way.
Aww.
Yeah. So she was among the last to see Elisa Lam alive. So she remembered the college student buying books and music for her family back in Vancouver.
Dude, I'm sorry to interrupt again. There's this bit that I've heard on like various podcasts and stuff when they talk about like serial killers and like people who were murdered and stuff,
Uh-huh.
where they mention some people just have the name of a victim, and it's fucked up. But some people have the name of a victim. Having the last name Orphan, I'm amazed she's not the victim here. That is a victim's name.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Maybe they got the wrong person.
Right.
Yeah. So it seemed like Elisa Lam had like intentions of going back home. So there was no suicidal thoughts that, we would assume that she had. When the autopsy results for Lam's case came out, it only served to ignite more questions. The toxicology report confirmed...
I was going to ask about the toxicology.
Yeah. So it confirmed that Lam had consumed a number of medical drugs likely to be medication for her bipolar disorder.
Oh, see, I've never heard this wrinkle.
Yeah. So
I was under the impression that she wasn't under the influence of anything.
No. So, all right. So here's the thing. So she did have a bipolar disorder and was taking medical drugs for them. But there were no indications of alcohol or illegal substances in her body.
So she wasn't drugged, but she did have drugs in her system, but prescription.
Yes.
Interesting.
Uh-huh. So, let's talk about this autopsy.
Please tell me about the autopsy.
So, soon after the toxicology report came out, amateur sleuths began poring over any information they could find in hopes of solving the mystery behind the death. For example, one summary of Lam's toxicology report was posted online by a Reddit sleuth with an obvious interest in medicine.
Of course it's Reddit. It's
always
Reddit.
It's always Reddit.
It's always Reddit.
So the breakdown pointed out 3 key observations. 1, Lam took at least 1 antidepressant that day.
Okay, sure.
2, Lam had taken her second antidepressant and mood stabilizer recently, but not that day.
Okay, so like a couple days prior at most.
Yeah. 3, Lam had not taken her antipsychotic recently. These conclusions suggested that Lam, who had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and depression, may have not been taking her medications properly.
Okay.
So it's important. It's an important finding to note that given the use of antidepressants to treat bipolar disorder can risk inducing manic side effects if done without caution.
So that could potentially explain her weird episode in the elevator.
So that could explain like the weird behavior, the weird hand motions, like
her trying to do fucking shadow clone jutsu.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people who have like latched onto that detail and suggested it was like a likely explanation behind that, that behavior.
Well, now, and I'm sure you're gonna get to this, so I probably shouldn't say shit, but I'm gonna say shit anyway because you can't stop me.
Sure.
I know a bit about how like water towers work. The only thing that's supposed to be able to get in and out of a water tower is water.
Yeah.
Now there is a latch on top for maintenance, but from my understanding, you typically need a key because that shit would be locked, and B, they're heavy as shit. Like you need a tool to like jack it open, like basically a car jack.
He raised his finger like he had a response to that. Ooh.
We will.
See, it's funny though because like when I was in California, and I had told that when we passed the hotel, and I had said, "Oh my god, my friends did an episode about this." I was in the car with my friend, who is a social worker and has worked in psych hospitals and has done a lot of mental health work. And she said she's watched documentaries and she's like read about it before, and that it's likely she had a psychotic break. But this was the one thing that I also got stuck on. I'm like, but how the hell did she get in the water tower?
Yeah.
So
there's also
Adrian.
There's an incredible documentary on Netflix about the Cecil Hotel. By the way,
so we will get to that actually.
Okay.
Eventually. By the way, most of our episodes are like 3 pages long. I wrote 5 pages on this.
Yeah, I was about to say I wrote 4 on the last one. We both went hard this week.
Yeah, it's weird. So hotel manager Amy Price, she is strongly of the support of the theory that like she just took her meds improperly and that caused psychotic delusions.
Contrary to Orphan, Amy Price, that's a cool name.
Yeah.
I can get down with that name.
Yeah. So Lamb was while she was staying at the hotel. Price, the hotel manager, said that Lamb was originally booked in a hostel-style shared room with others. However, complaints of odd behavior from Lamb's roommates forced Lamb to be moved to a private room by herself.
Another interesting wrinkle.
Yeah. So it's weird that she was already acting weird.
People are already like, this chick is creeping me out.
Yeah. But even if Lamb had been suffering from mental health issues, how did she end up dead?
Wait, is that a normal thing for hotels to have hostel situations?
Some of them do, yeah.
I've never once heard of this.
I guess so.
Interesting. Okay,
At the very least, the Cecil has that option.
God, why would you ever stay at the Cecil Hotel?
I don't know. I mean, after you know the history, like, I'm never staying in that fucking
Oh my
hotel.
God.
Ever.
Never. Now, if you drive me around, they're like, hey, we can stay at like a Best Western or we can stay at this hotel that's haunted. I'd be like, haunted hotel. Like, I want to go to the haunted one. I don't want to go here. It's not haunted. It's just fucked.
Yeah. People end up dead
I'm
all
a
the
little
time.
Pussy.
Wait,
I won't go to. I won't go to a haunted hotel.
God, next time you come to
absolutely
California, Lindsay, we'll have to go to the Queen Anne, or what's it?
Oh,
is it called the Queen Anne?
The Queen Mary.
Queen Mary. Yeah, it's
Heard that before.
Yeah, it's a ship that's been dry docked for like almost a century.
Bro,
Oh
all
yeah,
right.
yeah. Okay, I know what that is.
In California, and it's haunted as shit, but they use it as
all right. So
as a hotel now.
I don't really believe in ghosts and shit.
Neither do I.
I've played 2 gigs as a musician. I have played 2 gigs, a quinceañera and a wedding at the Queen Mary.
Really?
Both
Ooh.
times, weird shit has happened.
Oh my God, I want to stay there.
Yeah, so the one that I'll tell you right now before moving on, because, you know, it is a lot. The one thing I will, there was one time where I was playing, and like it was me, a keyboard player, and a bass player. And we were just playing, we were just, you know, having a good time, everyone was dancing. Then all of a sudden, like in my monitor, the keyboard just like went out completely.
Okay.
And I look over to my keyboard player, and he like points at the keyboard, and the knob is just moving down.
Oh,
which like
I love it. I love it.
I played with that
it.
dude for 5 years. I have never seen that happen before, and after we played that gig, it never happened again.
That's so good. Dude, also, Lindsay, by the way, the area that the Queen Mary is in is fucking beautiful. It's right on the Pacific Ocean. Like, it's such a gorgeous area. Plus, it's haunted as shit.
No, we got to go to the Queen Mary.
Man.
They have a Halloween, like, where you could, like, go down to, like, the lower decks.
Oh, hell yes.
With a tour guide, so you're not, you know, completely alone.
We also have to go on a hike through that mountain range where the California Night Watchers are.
I'm so down.
Oh my
I
God.
am so down.
Look, so I will go to the Queen Mary, but it's the same stipulation as when we went to Universal. I have to hold someone's hand.
God.
Oh, it was adorable. We would go on ride to Universal with Lindsay, and she would grab mine and Meg's hands and be like, "Don't let me die."
I hate rides. I hate rides.
I will
so
say
much.
the Harry Potter ride, while it was cool, made me very barfy.
Yeah, see, I had to get off that ride and like stand still and sit down for a while because I was like,
you
I'm
and I
gonna
both.
throw up. Oh my God.
Meg was like, I'm a bit upset, but you and I were like, we have to stop. Like it transitions between
between the screen and like
okay, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's not the roller coaster.
I
one.
love
The
that ride.
screens are really hard to watch.
It's cool as
It's a
shit,
little
but
rough,
the transitions between them are like,
well, because it like flips you over and
Yeah,
shit, and it's constantly moving.
honestly, the movement wasn't the problem for me. It was the switching between the AR and the reality that was like, I'm gonna vom.
Well, I could see that because your eyes are constantly shifting.
Yeah, every time I take off my VR headset, I'm just like, fuck.
Yeah. All right. So, back to Elisa Lam.
Yes.
So, the autopsy did not show any foul play from the evidence that was processed. But the coroner's office noted that they were unable to do a full examination because they could not examine the blood from Lam's decomposing body.
Yeah, because it was all fucked up. When you die and your body's in water, it decomposes so much faster.
Yeah, and she was in that tank for 3 weeks.
She's gone.
Yeah,
she's
so
gone.
it's you know,
The fact that they found her in one piece, if they found her in one piece, is
it's
surprising.
incredible. Yeah. So, who was responsible for Elisa Lam's death?
Well, now to me, it is sounding a lot like she had a psychotic break that resulted in an accidental suicide.
Okay. So,
That's my bet.
Lindsay?
I mean, that's how it's been presented to me.
Yeah, that
So
sounds right.
I'm in his boat.
I'm still stuck at the fact of how the fuck did she get in the water tank?
All right, we'll get to that eventually.
We better.
We're like 2 pages into this 5-page thing.
Oh no.
So who's responsible? Well, all right. So David and Nina Lam, who were her parents.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they filed a wrongful death suit against the Cecil Hotel several months after her daughter's death was uncovered.
That seems a bit of a jump.
It does. So the Lamb's attorney stated that the hotel had a duty to, quote, inspect and seek out hazards in the hotel that presented an unreasonable risk of danger to Lamb and other hotel guests. The hotel fought back against the suit, filing a motion to dismiss it. The hotel's lawyer argued that the hotel had no reason to think that someone would be able to get into one of their water tanks.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. So based on court statements from the hotel's maintenance staff, the hotel's argument is it's not entirely far-fetched. Santiago Lopez, who was the first to find Lamb's body, described in detail how much effort he had to exert just to find her body.
Yeah. Oh god, can you imagine popping open the tank and just seeing the decomposing bloated body? That's scarring.
It's terrible. So Lopez said that he took the elevator to the 15th floor of the hotel before walking up the staircase to the roof, then had to first turn off the rooftop alarm and climb up onto the platform where the hotel's 4 water tanks were located.
Oh my god! So there's an alarm on the roof.
Yeah,
too.
there's an alarm that you have to like what's it called? You have to turn off the alarm first and
like
then
disable it. Yeah,
disable it.
And the alarm didn't go off.
The alarm didn't go off. No.
Oh, this smells of lawsuit for sure. Then.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Now I'm kind of in on that. Of like I mean, is it possible she could have climbed up a fire escape? Would a fire escape even go to the roof?
I really don't think so. I mean, no.
Did she fucking Assassin's Creed her way up from like the top floor onto the roof? Because typically
if
an elevator doesn't reach the roof.
Hardcore, I would. Wow.
All right. So he had to do all of that just to get onto the roof where the tanks were located.
Because that's a big thing, especially in California, is they don't want people jumping.
No.
It's the same thing in other big cities like Los Angeles, New York, whatever. They don't want people jumping. So it's very, 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 very hard to get to the roof intentionally.
Correct. Finally, he had to climb another ladder to get to the top of the main tank.
Where the latches, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only after that did he notice something unusual. So there's a quote from him. I noticed the hatch to the main water tank was open and locked inside and saw an Asian woman lying face up in the water approximately 12 inches from the top of the tank.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That's like nightmare inducing. You'd be having flashbacks for that for the rest of your life.
That is like, it says a hotel, you have to pay for my therapy now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So his testimony, it sounds like it would have been extremely hard for her to do this by herself.
Yeah.
At least with nobody else noticing.
Yeah. Yes. See, that's another thing too, of just like nobody fucking saw this chick trying to get on the roof.
Yeah.
The alarm is what's really tripping me up now.
That's what got me too, because like, he had to disable it so that it's not heard.
My immediate thought is inside job, right? Somebody at the hotel must have
probably.
If someone killed her, it had to have been someone who worked there, or at least knew the alarm system.
Well, how did he explain how you have to disable the alarm? Is it like a key? Is it a code?
It's typically a code.
It's usually a code, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I've only ever had like one maintenance job in my life, and we had like a code, and we had to like. Our IDs had this like what is it?
It's an NFC reader where you
like the card.
Yeah, you hold up a key card and it scans you in.
Yeah. So like I'm assuming that it's basically the same thing, or if not something similar.
Either an actual physical key swipe, a key card, or there's typically an override code that you can do.
Yeah. So the hotel's chief engineer Pedro Tovar also made it clear that it would be difficult. Yeah, I know, right? It would be difficult for anyone to access the rooftop where the hotel water tanks were located without triggering any of the alarms. So there are multiple alarms for this.
Yeah, and I knew the job you're talking about that you had of like where you had the key cards and everything. If I remember correctly, and I'm thinking about the job that you had at the time when I knew you. anytime someone scanned a key card, you could see
Oh, a
who
name
it
would pop
was,
up. Yeah.
where it was,
And what
and
time.
when it happened.
Yeah.
So if she somehow took a key card, wouldn't it have shown up on the system?
It would have. Yes.
It reminds me of Among Us. Because
Yes,
there's that one
literally,
map where
yes.
it's like you can see where they like crossed a threshold or went into a room, and it's like North Terminal, and I'm like, oh my, we're playing Among Us.
That's
with
how
real
those
life.
work.
Yeah. It's typically how it works. Yeah. So only hotel employees would be able to deactivate the alarm properly. If it was triggered, the sound of the alarm would reach the front desk as well as the entire top 2 floors of the hotel. Yeah, so the LA...
Speaking of Among Us, that's very sus!
Yeah, it's very, very sus. LA Superior Court Judge Howard Helm ruled that the death of Elisa Lam was, quote, unforeseeable because it had happened in an area that guests were not allowed to access. So the lawsuit was dismissed.
Seems like a bit of a moot point.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Cecil Hotel for a sec.
Oh, can I talk to you about the Cecil Hotel? I'd love to talk about the Cecil Hotel. Can I talk to you about the Cecil Hotel?
Let's talk about the Cecil Hotel. So Elisa Lam's mysterious demise was not the first to happen at the Cecil Hotel.
Oh my god, absolutely not the first.
Are
you fucking kidding?
Great.
This hotel is cursed.
Yeah. So since opening its doors in 1927, the Cecil Hotel had been plagued.
See, my grandfather was born.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, it was here. My grandfather was born.
Hey, hell yeah, up top, we're brothers.
So in 1927, the Cecil Hotel was open, and since then, it has been plagued by 16 different non-natural deaths and unexplained paranormal phenomena.
I'm thinking like we got the murder Kroger in Atlanta that's got like 3 deaths in as many years.
Lindsay, if you weren't
and
aware,
you've got like a murder hotel.
Los Angeles is the murder capital of the world.
Yeah.
I didn't actually know that.
Yeah, so there's a whole thing about Los Angeles where it's like this huge bustling metropolis surrounded by remote mountains. So people can basically show up, fucking murder whoever they want, and then fuck off, never to be found again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that is the that is the state pastime, going to LA and murdering someone and getting away with it.
Yeah, no, it's kind of crazy.
We've all done it, Lindsay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I'll have to prepare for the next time I visit. I gotta sharpen my switchblade. I gotta,
Well, no,
gotta get my ski mask nice and clean.
Oh my god, Lindsay, you're gonna bring your own fucking. You think they're not gonna be able to see the switchblade and be able to track it back to you? You buy an unregistered firearm, first of all.
Oh, you're right. I gotta
very
go practice
easy to
at
do.
the firing range.
Easy. No, you don't practice the firing range. They'll see you. Lindsay, you're leaving trails. Come on, be more Californian.
All right. So the most famous death associated with the hotel, other than Lamb's.
Okay, I was about to say Lamb's.
Yeah. Was the 1947 murder of actress Elizabeth Short, a.k.a.
I didn't know that happened at Cecil Hotel.
That happened at the Cecil Hotel. So for those who don't know Elizabeth Short, you might know her as her alias, the Black Dahlia.
Yes, I didn't know that was a Cecil
I've heard
Hotel.
about this. I've absolutely gone down those like Wikipedia rabbit holes.
That's another
and...
great episode topic, by the way.
Dude.
The Black Dahlia murders.
It's crazy.
Because it wasn't just her.
No.
There were more that were done.
No, there were a lot.
Yeah. Potentially copycats or a group of serial killers.
Yeah, so the Black Dahlia was seen at the hotel and was seen drinking at the hotel bar days before her grisly demise.
They gave her like a Joker smile, right?
Yeah.
That's
it
the
was
same one.
gruesome shit. Yeah.
Ugh.
The hotel has also hosted some of the country's most notorious killers.
Night Stalker.
In 1985, Richard Ramirez, also known as the Night Stalker.
That's the one.
Yeah, so he was reportedly seen. He lived. My bad. He lived on the top floor of the hotel during his monstrous killing spree. The story goes that after a murder, Ramirez would dump his bloody clothes outside the hotel and return half naked, which back then the hotel was in such disarray that Ramirez's nude stunt barely raised an eyebrow.
Yeah. If we ever do an episode on a serial killer, the first one I would do is Richard Ramirez, because this dude's story is fucking batshit insane.
It's crazy.
The two serial killers that always fascinate me with their crazy stories are Richard Ramirez and one you might not have heard of, Andrei Chikatilo.
Never heard of him.
He was a Russian serial killer. And that dude, I'm amazed we even know his name. He was so good at killing people, and getting away with it.
Damn.
Yeah. So 6 years later, another murderous patron moved into the hotel. Austrian serial killer Jack Unterweger? I don't know how to say his name.
Unterweger.
Yeah,
Would
sure.
be my guess.
Yeah.
I don't know this one.
So he earned the nickname the Vienna Strangler.
I do know this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know anything about that.
Had no idea he went to the Cecil or
Yeah.
Cecil. I never
Also,
know.
when I first saw this, I thought it was an Australian serial killer.
It is
Oh
always
my
a struggle.
god.
Yeah, my bad. So, with such a macabre history, one would think that the Cecil would have been shut down by now.
I cannot believe it's still up and running.
But
I
actually,
mean, like, though, that kind of stuff garners like people who want to know
Notoriety
about.
and, like,
Yeah.
wanna
Yeah,
go
it's
there.
it's publicity that like
mean,
these people who
yeah.
like to read about it want to go be like, I'll go stay at the hotel. Maybe I'll get murdered. Maybe I won't.
I mean, people wrote
never know.
fucking. Why can't I remember his name suddenly?
who? I don't know what you're talking
The
about.
famous handsome serial killer.
I was about to say Ted Lasso. That's
you know,
not it.
my brain keeps saying Tom Brady, and I know that's not him. Ted Bundy. Holy
Ted
shit.
Bundy.
Oh,
Ted Bundy.
okay.
Holy shit, brain. Man, those
Okay.
things were 8%, huh?
I wasn't totally off. I said Ted.
Yeah, people would write Ted Bundy in jail and be like, please fuck me.
Yeah.
So like people are into this shit.
Yeah, it's super weird. So you would think it would be shut down by now, but actually the building was recently granted landmark status by the LA City Council.
Of course it would be.
Of course it
Yeah,
would be.
so the hotel was given the distinction because of the building's opening back in the 1920s, which is considered the beginning of the
Yep.
lodging industry in the
Yeah.
U.S.
I mean, it's no H.H. Holmes, but whatever.
Yeah.
By the way, isn't the Cecil Hotel like 2 blocks down from from Skid Row too?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I remember being very close to Skid Row,
That's
and my
correct.
friend who
Mhm.
like was like, I don't normally give a shit about those kind of things, but I don't want to die, so we're not going anywhere near it. And then we got two blocks close, and I was like, "All right, cool."
Good instinct.
Yeah. No, never go to Skid Row.
There's parts of LA where you're just like, that's the bad LA. And there's parts of LA where you're like, this is where you get the food.
Yeah. Or just never go to LA. There's like way nicer places
Yeah,
around
we were there
LA.
because we went to Smorgasbord,
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
Did you,
which
Lindsay,
was pretty cool.
I have to know, did you go to West Hollywood?
Oh, we went multiple times.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah.
I
Adrian,
went to
I'm sure you're
WeHo,
aware of West
capital
Hollywood
of-
being the gayest place in California.
Yeah,
I almost
everything
got
suddenly
murdered at
had
West
rainbows
Hollywood.
outside, short shorts, dogs. I
Yeah,
was just like, this is my
Just
people.
some dude
Oh my
walking around
God.
with the fucking anaconda around his neck.
That sounds right.
Yeah, no, I actually almost got murdered the last time I went to West Hollywood.
Did the anaconda kill
Oh
you?
my God.
No, some guy pulled a gun on us.
Holy shit.
Okay. Wow.
Well, that's not cash money.
I would like. Okay, my one story from WeHo is we went to a restaurant, kind of like nearby her apartment, because she doesn't live terribly far from West Hollywood, but it was
Hell
just like.
yeah.
It's, it's also LA, so it took us forever to get there via car. We're sitting outside, and the bartender comes out to take our drink orders, and he sees my ID, and he sees that, oh my God, you're from the same place in Arkansas that I'm from. I'm like,
Holy
oh
shit.
my God, what are the odds, dude?
Yeah.
He walks back inside, and my 2 friends that I was eating dinner with go, so we know why he left the South, because he was a very flamboyant gay man.
Mhm,
And I was
mhm.
like, yep.
Checks out. Are you telling me they don't like gay people in Arkansas?
At least where I am, I know a surprisingly large amount of gay men already. But
Oh.
you know what? Yeah.
By the way, did
No
you hear about that dog that got put up for adoption because the owners thought it might be too gay?
My girlfriend recently visited her
I'm
parents and her grandparents and mentioned that our 2 cats, Elliot and Harley, like to play together. And apparently that triggered her grandmother to say, oh, so they're gay.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Which is just like, what a jump.
No. So this was actually a pretty big story. Some people down in Texas, actually, not.
Of course.
It's still,
Where-
it's
where
it's the
else?
South.
I mean, I'm 4 hours away from Dallas, so continue.
Jesus Christ, really?
Yeah, I'm really close to Texas.
If I drive 4 hours, I won't get out of the state.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like that's what I used to live in South Florida.
In
Used to
any
take me 12
direction.
hours, but
Maybe 4 hours to the west, and we'll end up in the ocean. But
it's so weird not living on a coastal state. I'm telling you right now. I can go. When I first moved to Atlanta, I was like, I worked at the Mall of Georgia, and we had reinforcements come in at the mall from Chattanooga in Tennessee, and I'm sitting there like,
Chattanooga is not a real place.
It must have been taking you guys forever. And like, we're like, no, it's only 3 hours away. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm landlocked. There are states surrounding me. I don't know what to do. This is weird.
Yeah,
dude,
no, I can't do that.
I've lived in California so long that I've only actually been out of the state once, and it was go to Vegas. And it's like, because any direction you go in, you're still in the fucking state. California is huge.
Yeah. To be fair, Vegas might as well should just merge into California at this point.
Apparently there's been a whole thing about like building a huge like electric train, like a bullet train, like a Japanese style bullet train between Los Angeles and Las Vegas. But
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, apparently California is like, well, we don't want to do that because everybody's just going to go to Las Vegas and we're not going to make any money. And it's like, are you fucking stupid?
Yeah.
Where are they going to buy the ticket?
True.
You have to buy it in California to go there.
Yeah. I don't know.
And they're going to come home.
Eventually, yeah.
Like, what the fuck is the dumbest argument I've seen between the two states? Because that would be such a lucrative venture. Also, long live the bullet train. Way to go, Japan.
Dude, I don't understand why we don't have bullet trains over here.
Oh my God, it would be so nice. I would take a bullet if they just made like one big bullet train from like Los Angeles to New York City. That sounds like a fucking trip, dude.
Dude,
because
that would be amazing.
Stupid oil industry and cars and
make lobbying illegal.
So back to Elisa Lam. So the tragic death of Elisa Lam at the hotel has inspired pop culture adaptations like Ryan Murphy's American Horror Story Hotel. Have you watched that yet?
No.
Lindsay, have you watched that?
No, I haven't.
American Horror Story is not a bad... Well, it wasn't a bad show until the hotel series.
Oh. Which is what this is.
Yeah. So honestly, go watch Hotel. You don't have to watch any of the other series. Hotel is season 5. If you want to watch it on Netflix, it's all on Netflix. Basically, American Horror Story Hotel is the Cecil Hotel. They have like Richard Ramirez. They have ghosts in the walls and like a ton of other shit.
You know who else has ghosts in the walls? Hogwarts.
Bro, I'm still torn on that Hogwarts game. Like, it looks cool, but I don't want to support J.K. Rowling.
I totally agree with you. I don't give a shit about Harry Potter, but that game does kind of look fun.
I read a whole article about, people who struggle with loving the series but hating her because she's an asshole.
Separate the art from
the
artist.
whole time I'm reading the article, I'm like, we have a space pirate friend now, and I think we need to jump on his piracy bandwagon.
Jeremy, if you ever need crewmates, hit us up. I have not told him yet, by the way, that's the bit that I gave him.
Oh, I can't wait for this to air.
Because he's like, I'd happy to come back and like do an episode on vampires or something. And I can't wait. I almost want to just pop it on him like during that episode without context. Like, and Jeremy's joined us once again. He's taken a brief hiatus from his space piracy. Just him be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
All right. So during American Horror Story Hotel, when it came out, was super controversial. So during a press conference for the show, Ryan Murphy stated that the new season, quote, was inspired by a surveillance video from a Los Angeles-based hotel that surfaced 2 years ago. So the footage showed a girl in an elevator who was never seen again.
Yeah, okay. Elisa Lam.
So literally the entirety of that season was because of the Elisa Lam tape that got out.
Wasn't most of the other seasons too based on like they took inspiration from like other horror quote unquote things and just kind of ran with it?
Kind of, but not really. A lot of like the early seasons, like 1 through 4, were about like just general horror tropes and shit like that. Like they weren't based on specific like real life shit until Hotel. And then Hotel just like ran with shit like the Night Stalker shows up in an episode.
Mhm.
The one I forget the name of the serial killer, but she was like a prostitute. She had no eyebrows. I think Wernos.
I don't
know
know
what
who
you're
you're
talking
talking
about.
I do not.
Yeah,
I know what he's talking about. I
I'll
can't
have to look
remember.
into that.
yeah. So they started delving into like real life topics, but it all stemmed from the inspiration of the Elisa Lam tape.
Mhm.
That people started
It is
peeling
a
back.
wildly creepy tape.
Yeah. So people started realizing like, oh shit, the Cecil Hotel is kind of creepy. Yeah. So more recently, a gaming studio came under fire after users of the game, and I'm gonna pronounce this wrong, Yik,
Spell it?
Yiik. I don't know how else
Yeek.
this
I would probably say
is.
yeek.
Yeek, whatever. So Yeek, a postmodern RPG, found undeniable resemblance to Lamb's case in the storyline. In one scene of the game, main character Alex receives a video file showing another character, Sammy, in an elevator. The elevator door opens to reveal an alternate dimension on the other side. Sammy is then captured by a demon, kicking and screaming all the while.
It's got a weird. I looked at the game. It's got a kind of wild art style.
Does it? I didn't look it up.
Really? Now I gotta look it
The
up.
I assume this is the main character. He looks like me if I was ginger.
Yeah, now I gotta look it up. I'm surprised I didn't look it up.
It's got a weird art style. Kind of.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah.
Tell me that's not me, but ginger.
That's not exactly what I
That is
imagined.
you, but ginger.
It's me, but ginger, right?
Yeah.
It is you.
The dude's
It almost
weird as
looks
shit.
like the not the drawing art style, but like the actual renders in the background kind of remind me of VR chat.
Yep,
a little bit.
Yep, I totally get that. There's no tiny knuckles though, so
Yeah, so these people came under fire because like, oh, that kind of resembles it. And then they came out and were like, yeah, because that's where the inspiration came from. Anyways, back to the actual death. There are a couple of theories on how and why she died.
yeah. Please hit me with these.
So, one, she died by suicide.
Yeah.
So, some point to Lamb's Tumblr blog where she often wrote about her depression and anxiety
Oh.
as evidence that she died by suicide.
I didn't know that she had one.
But as reported by the CBC, the coroner said that, quote, a full review of circumstances didn't support the idea that Lam ever intended to harm herself. Which I think that plus like the last person to see her alive was the bookstore owner who like literally sold her books that she was going to take back to her relatives in Canada.
Because that is a thing about when you look into these suicide cases of people, and this isn't really a joke. This is just a very sad thing. People who are planning to commit suicide generally don't plan for the future.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't plan ahead.
Because why would you?
Right.
There's not even a point of making it seem like, oh, I didn't commit suicide. Like, I'm going to make it look like I didn't do this by planning something for the future that I know I'll never do. Because that's not at all what's on that person's mind. That they have a mental illness that is telling them they need to kill themselves.
Right.
And
To
so,
a certain extent, though, but like if she had a full-on psychotic break,
that's a good point too. I immediately forgot about the bipolar disorder of just like that immediately could flip that switch.
Yeah, sure. So, second theory, that she accidentally drowned.
Which is where I'm at right now.
So this is the theory most supported by lead investigator detective Wallace Tennell.
Not a great name.
Not a great name. Lam had a history of bipolar disorder, and Lam's sister told Tennell that Lam took 4 medications, including Wellbutrin. I don't know how to say that.
Wellbutrin, yeah.
Wellbutrin, which is an antidepressant.
Yep. It's a very common one.
Lamotrigine.
Lamotrigine.
Sure. Which is an anticonvulsant.
Anticonvulsant. So she was prone to seizures?
I guess so. She also took quetiapine.
Sure.
I don't know
that sounds like an Incan god.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. So that is an anti-epileptic and mood stabilizer.
Okay, so she was prone. She
Okay,
had epilepsy.
Prone to
apparently.
epilepsy. So from her sister's, this is quoting her sister, my opinion that is that she fell off her medication, and in her state, she happened to find her way onto the roof, got into the water tank, and at the time, I think the water tank was maybe full, but as people used the tank, used water,
drains, yeah.
unknown to her, the level was dropping to a point where she could no longer reach out and escape, and that's how she died.
All right, I'm gonna immediately refute that. Fucking bullshit. There's no way that she would have got into it and then been like, oh no, now I can't get out because too much water's been taken. That takes weeks of doing. If she was swimming for 3 weeks, then it'd be like, all right, now I can't get out. But she was dead as shit.
Yeah.
They do not drain that quick because they're supposed to refill to outpace that, essentially.
Right.
Now, I don't know much about bipolar disorder.
Mhm.
I'm going off of what I've seen in media. But I can see the idea of she gets in because she wants to go take a swim, and the bipolar disorder is telling her that like, this is a pool or a jacuzzi, so she goes and take a swim, and then realizes when you're in water, you don't have leverage to push that hatch back open.
I could see that. See, the thing, it's not necessarily that she was having a delusion. It's possible because a lot of the time bipolar disorder has a comorbid diagnosis with something else.
Mm-hmm.
But your impulse control is gone.
Mm.
Totally through the roof, evaporated. You don't even stop yourself. So I could see that being like, I want to go for a swim,
and then you
hopping in and not even thinking about anything after.
Yeah.
Well, here's my thing on that though. She would still have to bypass all of those alarms,
which I'm still hung up on.
Yeah.
Of getting past the alarm. She could have stolen a pass key, maybe.
But like, if she were really in a state where she wasn't really thinking all that well, like, how would she have the
like wherewithal to
Yeah.
do that? Yeah.
Exactly.
If she had any reason to be paranoid, she may have been following someone who would have the code or the key.
And then I could
Maybe.
totally
Or,
see
like,
someone
watching.
being like, yeah, I went up to the roof to like have a smoke break or something, right? But then they find out that a girl was dead and murdered up there, and they're like, I ain't gonna say shit because I don't want to be like wrongly accused.
I feel like at this point someone would have come up. Like, it's been 9 years.
Also, just from my storytelling brain, we went to college for this. We took script writing classes. If someone, like a seduction thing, right? Someone works at the hotel, they're going to try to bang her.
Sure.
They go up there. Let's go for a swim. She goes for the swim. Leave her there, kind of thing, right? Like, because that would be a way to get up there as well. I'm trying to think of an inciting incident that leads you to the roof.
Sure, but if I'm that dude, I would just tell the truth.
Yeah, but you're not a terrible person.
Well, that's true.
And most people in murder cases will be like, I ain't saying shit.
Well, not only that,
compassion
but
is surprisingly rare.
Very rare.
Well,
what do you know?
well, not only that, but like, I still feel like someone would have seen someone up there with her, or like whoever used the code
late at night.
I mean, sure, but like, let's say that, well, even to like get the thing open, you would probably still need a key, which you would need to like report. Or like, you know, it would probably show up. Yeah.
Security would immediately go through the log and be like, oh, Johnson Smith went up there.
Exactly.
Like,
so.
And then someone would have been like, yeah, I saw her flirting with Johnson Smith, and they banged one out on the roof. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
There's always, it really reminds me of the same loop I went through with Dyatlov Pass.
Yeah.
Of like, you go through a theory, but then there's always one thing that's like, well, that doesn't really fit, does it?
Yeah.
That's still, by the way, the best episode you guys ever aired, and it's oh my god.
Because Dyatlov is so good. You know what? Maybe she got on the roof.
I was about to say
gravitational fluctuation.
No.
Oh my god!
So she didn't have a
tank had a zipper and it froze.
that was gonna be my thing. Like, what if she got into the tank and the zipper was fine,
and then it froze because it got so cold in Los Angeles, California?
Exactly.
I think she didn't have a tent to save her from the gravitational fluctuation.
Possibly.
And then the Karman vortex went into her brain hole and made her jump into the tank where it froze.
Sure. You don't know that.
Someone call the LAPD.
Maybe it was
the case.
Maybe it was fucking aliens. Why else would the Men in Black be there?
Because well, okay, yeah.
All right. What if they abducted her, and when they took her back, they didn't put her back in the room, like in her room. They took her to the roof.
To recall from the Men in Black episode, one of the only pieces of footage we have of allegedly the Men in Black, they were at the Cecil Hotel about 3 days before she was found. which is quite weird because that doesn't super fit with the Men in Black theory of these are essentially disguised aliens working with humanity, probably, to dissuade any alien stuff. Because even if we're going into alien theory, right, and say that aliens were involved in some way, typically speaking, when a woman is abducted, she's either kept to bear a star child, she is brought up and experimented on, in which case she wouldn't remember anything. They also typically wouldn't take someone who wasn't mentally sound. That is there's a general thing of they want good specimen to experiment on or to mother star children, whatever. There's also the idea of a lot of times men and women, when they get abducted and they're brought back, they have like the 3 dots like Predator thing, where it's like a triangle of dots. Typically that is found just above the groin area because they're extracting essentially DNA. That is more common in men, but it has been found in women as well. Weird thing about men, by the way, is they say that then when they get hit with the thing, it makes them hard as shit and they cum their brains out.
Oh
man,
my God.
That is kind of a common thing. They put a tube on you, they stab you right there, and you just fucking shoot ropes into that tube, dude.
God.
That is a weirdly common thing.
I kind of want these dudes to abduct me.
Shoot ropes into a tube.
God,
I just want to see what it's like.
Now, Adrian, to be fair, they usually
I
say
didn't
that
know that we kink shame in here.
They say that it is excruciatingly painful.
Is it?
Yeah. Because you're not coming because you feel good. You're coming because you're being forced to.
I mean,
don't.
No, we're going back to the story.
Would you lick a gray alien's butthole, Adrian?
Of course, if she asked me to. Even if he asked me to.
I
don't discriminate.
See, there you go.
Look, I respect your
open-mindedness.
story. How
I
can
might
you
have told the
possibly
story
have a story
before.
that's related to this?
You don't think Lindsey has licked a butthole in her time?
Comment.
Okay, go on.
So I was playing Apex Legends when the Raiders event was live, and it was when that really, really good Valkyrie skin came out, where it's like you know what I'm talking about, right? With like the black hair and the cool, like, kind of Japanese armor kind of thing.
Yes.
And I joined an arena. And when I play Apex Legends, my rule of thumb is the moment you get into the lobby, press F and mute your teammates because I don't like getting harassed.
Yeah.
Well, I forgot to mute my teammates. And I hear out of comms, oh my God, that Valkyrie skin is so good. So I didn't meet them. I said, all right, let's see where this goes. And one of them, the other one that's not actually talking, types in chat and goes, so would you lick Valkyrie's asshole if given the opportunity?
Yes.
And I said, as a gay woman, when in Rome. And these guys lost their fucking mind. It was great. I think one of them was stoned as fuck. But they're like, they loved me after that. They wanted me to play with them after that. I was just like, when in Rome,
Absolutely.
Why not?
I really love playing Destiny and seeing people's names in Destiny because there are always things like 801's copper-plated labia or Savathun's bleached asshole. And it's like, yes, good.
Who's the PvP guy that all of us love?
I don't have a fucking clue. I don't follow any.
The Guardian who's always like talking real fun. Not
you're talking about the NPC. You're talking about Lord Shaxx.
The PvP NPC.
Lord Shaxx.
Yes. I see. If it's not Marisav getting her thick thighs juiced up in a name, it's Shaxx.
Oh yeah, it's always Shaq's missing horn, but it's a butt plug. I did see that one. I liked that one quite a bit.
God,
Steam lets you do far too many things in the namings.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So, another theory. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, no.
Love that hand movement. Another theory. Elisa Lam was murdered by someone.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
Which this is what I subscribe to, honestly. From everything,
it's the only thing that fits.
Yeah. So some believe that Lam's elevator video suggests that she was afraid of someone who was following her. In the footage, she looks out into the hallway right before jumping back in, frantically pushing all the buttons.
Mm-hmm.
In an episode of Real Life Nightmare, forensic psychologist Cheryl Arutt.
Spell it.
Arutt.
Arutt, probably.
I don't know. So he or she, I don't know if it's a man or a woman,
That's fair.
said it looked like maybe she was hiding from someone.
It absolutely looks like that.
Yeah, it does. She seemed to be hiding in a corner, trying to make herself small and be out of sight. Tanel said that at one point they did see Lam, quote, come in with two gentlemen who gave her a box. They were never captured by the
What's
cameras.
in the box?
Yeah, so they were never captured by the cameras ever again. After her death, Lam's belongings were found in the basement, but Tanel didn't suspect foul play.
What the fuck?
My partner and I try to figure out how somebody could have put her in there, and it's difficult for someone to have been able to do that and not leave fingerprints, not leave DNA, not leave anything like that.
I mean, gloves exist.
Gloves, yeah.
Now, okay, so if I'm trying to go full alien brain, right?
Sure.
Men in Black showed up 3 days prior. The Men in Black could have been the one who gave her the box. The box contained evidence of the fact of like there could have been something prior in her life that had to do with alien, whatever the fuck. And they essentially, because if you remember from the Men in Black episode, they typically don't like hurt people. The most they'll do is threaten people and say like, no one will believe you, like you're insane, and psychologically drive someone.
Gaslight the shit out of them,
right?
Which psychologically drives them to kill themselves. So there could have been something of them proving to her like, yeah, you did see an alien, you were abducted, whatever, and drove her to be like, we're not going to hurt her, but we're going to chase her around the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to give her that box, basically like intimidate her. And eventually she ran away, maybe tried to hide within the water tank. And then the Men in Black were like, well, our job is done. Because remember, the one thing that the movies did that actually was correct about the Men in Black is they do not have fingerprints.
Right. Yeah, see,
because they're not human.
Yeah. So like my whole thing is like, I mean,
they would be able to get past the alarm.
They probably would. Also, like this might go against me if this were ever brought up in a court of law, but I have been under the influence of drugs before. I have hallucinated, but it's never like I've never thought like, oh, somebody's following me. Like I've never imagined someone following me. I've never.
I've known people who smoked weed and got super paranoid. Like
and got extremely paranoid. I was just about to say that.
But it's never to the point where like I see somebody following me. Like it seems like she is.
I have known people who get that. You know, the overwhelming feeling that like you're being watched.
Sure.
I have known people who, when they smoke weed, they're like, I feel that constantly.
Yeah.
Which is like, why are you still smoking? That sounds.
You also have to understand
terrifying.
That, like, if you throw in her bipolar disorder and probably some other diagnosis, like you're probably gonna. She totally could have seen shit.
Possibly. I don't know. It also just seems too fishy for it to just be suicide.
So one thing I've also not delved into very much with alien shit is the idea of indigo children. There's actually a David Cage game called The Indigo Prophecy, which does touch on this. The idea of an indigo child is that it's some hippy dippy bullshit, by the way. But an indigo child is someone who has some DNA of the Greys or even the Nordics, depending on which lore you're looking at. And these are children who typically lean more liberal, and they're very creative and artsy and free and spiritual. Like I said, it's hippy dippy bullshit. But these indigo children, when they grow up, they become very independent, very in touch with themselves. A lot of the times that is presented in forms of mental illness from outside viewing. And again, there is the link to aliens, so that could be a thing as well, that she was potentially a lost indigo child. If you want to get real fucking stupid
I feel like
about
you're just describing our horoscope as Aquarians.
Look, yes. Like I said, it's some hippy dippy bullshit. But if you want me to dive into alien shit, which I will never say no to, that is another potential thing that the Men in Black were trying to track down indigo children.
Possibly. But I don't know, like for me, it just seemed like she was that's the only thing that 100% fits.
I am with you on that.
Yeah.
It seems like a murder.
By who? I don't know.
Even if it was like manslaughter, like it wasn't intentional.
Sure. But like, it's just something wrong. Something about the tape makes me like...
It makes me very uncomfy to watch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, so those are like the potential ones. Let's get to the crazy shit.
Oh my god.
Oh, hell yes. Let's go.
What the hell have I been talking about for the last 20 minutes?
So, next theory, Elisa Lam was tormented by ghosts.
Yep. All right. I have actually heard this one. That's why we don't see anybody chasing her.
Oh, okay.
And,
I'm suddenly on board with this
I've
crackpot
seen things
theory.
of the hand motion she does also comes in line with possession.
I haven't seen that. No.
Demonic possession leads to you doing like you're trying to like regain control, and so you're doing weird things with your hands, kind of thing. I've seen things that she was possessed, for example, and a demon made her kill herself.
Potentially. So
don't give credence to that.
So since its creation in 1924 in Skid Row, the Cecil has been linked to a variety of criminal activities. This includes housing serial killers like Richard Ramirez and being the last known location of the Black Dahlia.
Who haunts it?
Yeah. Because of the many tragic events and deaths that have happened at the hotel, some believe that Lam was hiding from a supernatural entity in the elevator.
Yeah.
Many point to her strange hand motions as signs that she was communing with the spirit.
Communing? Interesting. I would not have guessed that.
Yeah. She might have been possessed. I don't know. I didn't really dive too much into that because, like, no.
Yeah, because it's stupid.
It's dumb. But some people believe it, so I guess it can't be too dumb.
You know, a lot of people can be stupid at the same time, Adrian.
True.
That's true.
All three of us are stupid in the same place at the same time pretty frequently.
That is true.
Yeah.
That's a pretty common occurrence.
So, second crackpot theory. Elisa was a tuberculosis, I could say that, tuberculosis test subject that got a bad batch.
This keeps
Me
getting
and
weirder.
Tyler just had the same exact physical reaction.
You said tuberculosis and we both like got wide-eyed like what? And then you said test subject and we both just leaned back like, I'm sorry. You want to dive into that one a little bit,
All
Mr.
right.
fucking Edgewood?
A little bit. One of the weirder conspiracies speculates that Lam was a guinea pig for a new tuberculosis medication. There was a tuberculosis.
We eradicated TB.
I don't know. There was a tuberculosis outbreak in 2013 on Skid Row, and theorists pointed out that one tuberculosis test is called the Lam-Elisa.
This is bullshit.
I'm sorry. Like that.
You just lied to your entire
No,
viewer base.
that last
seriously.
part is confirmed as real?
Yes,
No, it's not.
swear.
That is
I'm
a
looking
load.
this up.
That
We're
is a load of
aggressively
Look it up.
bullshit.
No,
What's the
seriously.
Tuberculosis.
Yeah,
Lindsay, be aware if the site is a black background with green text, you cannot trust it. If at any point they mention Pleiadians and natural spiritual healing, you can trust it.
Yeah, so like apparently there's a TB test. What is it? It's
Even you don't know what the fuck you're talking
I
about.
I don't because it's fucking stupid.
This is a Reddit theory. No, absolutely
Oh, okay.
fucking
You've
not.
been fed
Hold on.
misinformation.
I have been fed misinformation.
That's fair. That's what this entire
He
show.
did preface this with crackpot theory. I will say that.
Yeah,
but
it's a crackpot
Reddit,
theory.
get it together, okay?
Which, by the way, I got all of this from the LA Times. So
Yeah. So
They're
crackpot
saying-
theory. They're almost
they're
as bad as the
saying-
New York Times.
no.
Is there an Elisa Lam test? Well, it
No.
seems like it could be another internet theory. There really is a tuberculosis test that bears an uncanny resemblance to Lam's name. The Lam-Elisa test, which stands for lipoarabinomannan enzyme link immunosorbent assay, ASSA.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
my god!
That's
Shut
so.
the fuck up.
That's still pretty
That's still
fucking
a stretch.
wild.
That's
That's crazy.
That's a stretch.
It
but
is a
that's
stretch,
cool.
but it's close enough to be weird.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
especially because she was on Skid Row.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah,
That one makes me uncomfy.
yeah. Also, you were thinking about the New York Post, not the New York Times.
That's true. You're right. I was thinking about that.
Yes, the New York Post is hot shit. We talked about this last week. About
But-
that lesbian
Oh yeah, lesbians.
outfit discussion.
Something about Jean.
Now,
Or
Adrian,
what was it?
I need to.
Only lesbians are allowed to wear pants.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
what
the
it was.
Yeah.
discussion.
Which, sorry, but we're all three of us are wearing pants, and only one of us is a lesbian.
Well, two.
Adrian.
No, you're on.
Two.
You're
Two.
not.
You're not giving
yeah.
yourself
That's
enough
true.
credit,
That's a good
Tyler.
point. Now, Adrian, is there any more to this, or can I take the fattest leak of my life?
Go for it. Oh wait. One more.
You just go for it like I'm supposed to do it in front of
I
you.
snuck when you weren't looking. I snuck off to go pee.
I did see that.
I saw you leave.
And we were just like, there she goes.
yeah.
I couldn't hold it anymore, dude.
All right, one more, and then I'll let you pee.
My bladder hurts. So
This might be your favorite one, though.
oh no.
So, last crackpot theory: she opened a portal to another dimension.
Oh, I mean, yeah, obviously.
Oh my god!
Yeah. So, by far, the wildest theory suggests that Lam died because she opened a door to another
And
dimension.
a man named Jonas met her,
I was just about to
Potentially.
say she got the Beatles album.
and she
Fuck.
was like, "This can't be real."
So, this theory hinges on believing the spooky urban myth of the. I've never heard about this, but this is amazing. So, it's a urban myth of the Korean elevator game.
Yes.
I've never heard about this, but I guess you have.
Yeah, the Korean elevator game. It's the idea that if you press all the buttons in an elevator, I believe, and you go in a specific order, it will essentially change dimensions.
Sure. So, according to the rules, the player has to enter the elevator alone and press a series of buttons
Yeah.
in order to enter a parallel dimension.
Yeah.
In this new world, electronic devices don't work, and there's nothing outside but a red cross.
You know, it's very funny because the next episode I wanted to research was about the back rooms, and that's very related to the back rooms.
Never heard of it.
Lindsay, have you heard of the
I've
back
never heard
rooms?
of that either.
Oh,
no,
I'm
I
not
want to hear about this.
I am not saying shit.
It sounds
until the next episode.
just
okay,
like something
we're doing
from
an
the video.
episode.
Yeah, it sounds just like the video game Control, which if you've
Control-
never played it,
Control is
that is such a good game.
I have
It's
not played it
fucking-
yet, but it is wildly similar to the
okay.
back rooms.
I will
You need to
buy
play
it for you.
Please do, because I
For
actually do
real.
want to play it.
It like legit.
I'm going on Steam right as
No,
we speak.
don't do it. I'm gonna buy it for him.
Okay,
Okay. Legit, it's one of my favorite games I've ever played.
It
It's
looks
one of the
really,
best
really
games
good.
to come out in the last 10 years, if you ask me.
It does
Yeah.
And
remind
it's
me of the
wildly
fact of,
underrated.
I do want to do an episode where all three of us on our own time go to the SCP website, just find one that we like, and we all report on an SCP that we
Oh, I
found.
already know which. Like,
I'm
I
down.
love SCP.
I feel like
I'm
that'd be
down.
I feel like that'd be a really fun episode to just tell each other about SCPs.
I'm down. So the player is not supposed to leave the elevator, and if a strange
Yes.
woman steps on, they shouldn't speak to
You
or
don't say
look
a
at her.
fucking word to her.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do know about this.
Yeah, some theorize that Lam was trying to play this game when it all went horribly wrong.
Now I know she was Asian. Was she Korean?
No, she was from China.
See, I vaguely remembered her being Chinese. Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting. Before we go, by the way, also fucking weird, the elevator game.
Yeah.
Weirder thing in my opinion from Korea though is Korean fan death. This is the idea that if you are sleeping and you have a fan on in your room, that the fan will suck the air from your lungs and you'll fucking die.
bro. In Mexico, we have a thing. It's a superstition where like you can't sleep parallel or not parallel, but you can't sleep with your head or feet pointing towards a door or a window because your soul will leave your body.
That's hilarious.
So that's
I
why
believe
Interesting.
that's why in my bedroom, my bed is literally my head is to the window and
Oh,
my
yeah.
legs are to the door.
Yep.
I mean, like,
waiting for the
mine's
soul
just
to be
set up
sucked
so
out of
that it's like my window's on the left and the door's on the bottom right.
Yeah, I just want it to fit in the room.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Anyway, I'm gonna go destroy a toilet real quick.
I'll come with you,
Okay.
Ooh, you want to hold each other's?
please.
All right. See you later,
Oh
Lindsay.
my! I'm gonna get off. I will see you.
Yeah, I bet
guys.
you are.
Ah!